All right, but no, we just finished up media day out here at Upton. Man, I gotta ask you, man. Go back to that fight on Saturday night, man. How surprised were you of how that fight turned out and the way
Utterly
it did?
shocked. Honestly, I thought that Earl would have been able to do what I've seen him do on numerous occasions, impose his will, be able to stay consistent and get the win. Wasn't able to do it. Got to take all your hat and credit off to Bud. Even watching Earl gave you no excuses. He didn't blame you on weight cut or nothing else. He said he was the better man tonight. You know, and that's once again what I take from him. He's gonna always give you that class act. You know, he was very humble in defeat. You know, so I thought it was an eye-opening, shocking fight to me. I'll say this: if he goes back to the drawing board, if he takes the time off that he needs to take off, and they fight at 154, I'm still gonna go with Earl. I still will go with him. I think the 47 weight drain may have just been too much. I think we as fans, and I say myself on the fan side, not the coach side, we get so enamored with our guys being able to do superhuman things, and weight cut is superhuman. Anybody who says weight cut is not superhuman, or if they did something better that it would have been different, come cut weight. These guys are fighting at weight classes in the sport that they're working hard to get to. But when you see them when they're not fighting, they're still in shape and they're big men. You look at Earl, you look at Jaron Ennis, you look at my son Jalil, they are big men. And they're cutting down the weights to be competitive and make great fights. So I applaud him.
And
he's done
it for his whole career.
Yeah, he stuck around. I applaud Bud for acknowledging, like, this guy stuck around. He could have been gone, and this fight could have never happened. Shout out to Bud. Congratulations to him. I would love to see it happen. But I think right now, as a fan of Earl Spence, I want to see him go home and heal first.
Yeah.
I want to see him heal. Don't rush to get back in December. Take your time, heal your body, and then come back when we get the best version of you.
You know, with that being said, Bernard, did you get an indication in the fight at any point that Crawford could have stopped him earlier? Like, for some reason, like, I ain't saying he let off the gas, but it felt like he eased up a little bit.
I don't think he eased up. I think both of those men were at the top of the pinnacle of the sport. They're the best two welterweights, belt-wise, record-wise. They were both undefeated. They both have been hurt and battled back, and they both know every aspect of each other. So I think Bud did what he thought and knew as a fighter was the logical thing to do. If I think I got him hurt, I want to make sure I got him hurt, and then he went in to finish the fight. He fought a logical, smart fight.
Now, from a coach's point of view in the corner, knowing what we know about Earl Spence, him having the accident and what he went through with that, him having the eye surgery, being off 16 months. As a coach, would you have stopped that fight?
I think I would have done probably what his coach did. I think I would have did the same thing. You got to remember, these are prideful men, and that's his first loss. You don't want to do something that shakes the foundation of him. Earl can come back from Earl losing, because he at some point as a fighter says, I lost. He might not be able to come back saying my team took it from me. My team didn't have the faith that I could come back. And how do we work together after that? Because like I said, these guys have pride. So I think if he'd have finished that round and they'd have went to the next round, I think they would have had a real conversation in that corner, coach and fighter. And if he would have stopped it on the stool, perfectly fine. But I always go back to what Mike Tyson used to say. There's no shame in going out on your shield. So he let him go out the way that I think he wanted to go out on his shield.
Yeah, he made no excuses whatsoever as a man. He was like,
nah.
Hey,
I do take away other parts from seeing that type of fight. For those who follow me, they know, I think it was the next day, I posted a picture of Earl and his dad. And that solidified everything for me. At the beginning, his dad took him into a gym. His dad was there with him. Ups, downs, not getting the Olympic nod, everything. On the worst night as a professional, the person who stood there and was looking up at that Jumbotron with him
was his dad.
When you watch these all accesses, the 24/7s, all that, nobody as an athlete and a great athlete is short of people to be there with you when everything looked great. But when the building crumbles, the person that picked up the pieces is the person that was there walking you in the gym on day one. So I think, to me, that picture will stand out more than the win or the loss, because I saw what a father does.
You know, Bernard, that's a great point right there, because I go back to Sean Porter and his dad, and like you said, when the father knows his son, he must have knew something that he threw that towel in.
Yeah, but if you, as a great example, if you look at it, him and Sean kind of were at odds. Sean's a respectful young man, but you could see the tension was there when he's like, "Why you stopping?" Mm-hmm. That's what I mean by.
Okay, I see.
You gotta let that fighter be able to say to himself, "I lost." Even if we as a team, me as a coach, say, "Nah, that's on me. I could have did something different." You gotta let that fighter's psychological part be able to say he lost. Mm-hmm. Because if he can't say that, he always start feeling, if it's getting close, is my coach gonna take the same route again? And that kind of brings that doubt there. So, that's one thing you never play with is an athlete fight.
It's so wild, Bernard, because you see so many people play Monday morning quarterback the following day. But when you're in the midst of the action, man, you got to make some tough calls and tough decisions.
You got a million people out here talking about, man, I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen. Only thing I say, everybody will say they knew it was going to happen. Show me where your life different with a $1 million bank check. Because if you knew that much and was that confident, you would have bet.
You would have bet.
You would have been like, Bud Crawford changed my life because I bet 20,000 won $1 million. I bet 10,000 won $500,000. But nobody can tell me that. So even the average fan, the great fan, they didn't know. You had all these different people saying how they thought it was gonna go after the fight. Tell me before the fight you thought it was gonna go like that. I can respect that. But after the fight, I ain't trying to hear that.
Man, fight night Saturday night, Bernard.
Hey, I'm going to tell you like this. I tell my son, we going to dance with the girl that got us here. My son is a pressure fighter, much the same as Earl. And if my son go out there and do what he does, whatever the other guy does is inconsequential. That's one of the reasons why I tell my son he can watch fights and watch tape. But when we got a fight coming, my job is to come up with the game plan. His job is to be ready. And that's where we at with him.
Bernard, also, man, I had such a great response from when you did the breakdown of Earl Spence, Mikey Garcia. People looking forward to more of you doing that breakdown, so we got to do that more often.
Man, anytime. You let me know the fight that people want to, discuss, I would do my research.
One of the discussions definitely going to probably be that Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence breakdown. They definitely want to.
I'll say this. I like breaking fights down before. We all know the aftermath. I ain't never seen nobody that didn't score 100 points when they knew every play that was coming up. I like to do them beforehand. If there's a fight that fans want me to do with you, let me know beforehand.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. That's true. I think the Charlo Canelo would be a good one.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do that next.
Let's put that on the schedule to do. I think that's going to be a great one. I think I will definitely research it out, and I'll be prepared when we do it.
All right. There you have it, man. On the ropes, but Hackett, Jalil Hackett, still inside with Coach Calvin. Then we up here at Upton, man, getting ready for them fights on Saturday night. Coppin State University, man. You want to come out and have a great time, man.
Man, we be in there. Shout out to all the fans who bought Jalil Major Hackett merchandise. We got a few shirts left, not many. They bought the shirts, they bought the hats, they bought the socks. So, I'm loving it. I love everybody who supports my son.
Definitely, man. Truly appreciate your time as always, Bernard.
Always.
There you have it. On the ropes, we out.